Hello and welcome back to Instant Insights. At Global Data Strategic Intelligence, we track over 100 tech, industry, ESG, and macro themes impacting all major sectors. I'm Carolina Pinto, and together with my colleague Martina, we had the privilege this week of attending the 22nd Annual International Hotel Tech Forum. We had the chance to speak with many industry experts about the latest tech adoption trends in the industry. First, I spoke to Ryan Haynes, PR expert and tech specialist to the hospitality industry, about what he thought were the major emerging market trends for the future of the hospitality industry.
Well, what I've been seeing particularly over the last year or two as you look at how the hospitality market is evolving is that you've got hotels that are looking to make things much more efficient, really leaning on technology, where guests are perhaps expecting more of a self-service approach to that, and therefore everything is automated. There's idea of like almost limited service accommodation. Like with an Airbnb, you would go and get your key from a key box, and you just go into your property. I guess in some respects, some of them are looking for that level of autonomy. But then at the same time, you've got a completely different end of the market where people want to be treated like guests. They want to have that welcome. They want it to be recognised. They want that treat that they don't get anywhere else. And so there is almost that two-tier of offering a very simple accommodation offering to providing a full hospitality experience. And in providing that full hospitality experience, hoteliers have that level of skill to provide it at such a personalised level and using tech that's completely hidden underneath to be able to deliver that. And so hotels a lot of the time are either looking for that, say, technology that guests engage with, or technology that just helps the employee deliver that experience. It's not really seen by the guest.
I then also spoke to Ted Horner, a freelance consultant for the hospitality industry, about which trend he thought would be mentioned most at the conference.
Well, I know what we most talked about is because it's everywhere in the world is artificial intelligence, but at the same time, it's still very conceptualizing. A lot of people think it's going to be the universal panacea. It's going to solve lots of problems. I can see potentially it will. In my role as a consultant, I consult to owners of hotels, and at the moment, I still think it would be difficult to establish a really accurate return on investment for AI. A lot of people are watching, everyone's talking about it. I mean, every vendor I talk to, and I have vendors presenting to me all the time, it's all like, if you haven't got AI, there's something wrong. But there's still early development phase. We're looking at what AI is doing in other areas. So I think, I'm hopeful that it will make a difference, but I'm still sitting on the fence a bit in terms of its impact on the industry. But other people are talking it up big time. I'm sure if you walk around this floor here, you'll see, there's specialist AI companies. But I think there's a ways to go yet. The problem in our industry, as I see it, we don't invest anywhere near as much in technology as other industries.
Yeah.
So to some extent, we're spending less, and as a result of spending less, right, we don't always embrace the next generation of technology. We're usually the last cab off the rank, so to speak, in terms of embracing next generation technology. So other things apart from AI, certainly I think there's no doubt in my mind, robotics. I mean, the reality is there are tasks in hotels that nobody wants to do, dull, dangerous and dirty tasks like housekeeping. We've even got a couple of robots on the floor here, vacuuming, function space, corridors, rooms, all that sort of stuff. Jobs that typically nobody wants to do, I can see they're performing a role. I've even seen robots delivering food in some instances or doing room service. That's still early days yet. I'm not sure there's an ROI on that one. I think it's probably what we call a gee whiz factor to try and encourage people. But so robots. I think still there's a lot to be done, in the personalisation area. The way I look at things is, have you guys got Amazon Prime?
Yeah, of course.
So what happens every week? You get an email from them saying, based on what you've watched, this is what we recommend. And Amazon's done all this research, and it says that 85% of those recommendations are taken up. My wife is very big into, she's retired for 4 years, very big on rom-coms. She's got that many titles you can pick But instead of her going and looking, they're targeting what she looks at. Now, the interesting thing is, what I look at that is in our industry, we're not there yet. You know, if Ted Horner likes gin and tonic, you know, and he's got a history of purchasing gin and tonics across a hotel chain, why is it when I walk into a bar, if someone regularly saying, Ted, would you like your normal Bombay and Sapphire, right? So it would be great, and I hope that as we get to that level, the mining of data, AI will probably play a role in empowering and putting more information in the hands of staff so they can personalise the offer.
This being a tech conference, tech adoption to automate and personalize the guest experience was at the top of everyone's mind. We asked Ryan what he thought were the biggest challenges to tech adoption in the hospitality industry.
I've been working in technology now for 25 years, and I've worked across the different sectors. The difference with the travel and hospitality sector, and most specifically with the hospitality sector, is that the journey for the customer is much longer. If you want to buy yourself a t-shirt, you go online, you buy the t-shirt, it gets delivered within 2 or 3 days, end of. But when it comes to a travel experience, you are thinking, you are being inspired, you are doing the research, you are booking, you've got a few days, a few weeks, a few months before you go. And then you arrive and you've got that experience whilst you're there. And as a consequence, hospitality has so many different touch points, and they need to keep and appease and make that experience enjoyable for that traveller at each and every single one of those. So the buying process is much more drawn out, which is why different technologies need to be employed throughout that process, and you need a much more holistic view of what you're doing with technology and what sort of branded experience you want to offer. You take airlines, you know, it is literally, okay, it's taking you to the destination, and then there's nothing, there's a void in between before they return again. If you go on holiday, you might know what destination it is, but it's where you're staying, it's where you're putting your head for the night. That is one of the most influential aspects of your holiday. So hospitality has a lot to answer for, and therefore it does need to get it right. And as a consequence, that's the reason why it's perceived that they're so far behind, because there are so many different aspects that need to be considered. It's not just plug in one solution. You know, you can view the product, you can select, you purchase, it gets delivered. No, there are so many other steps, as I explained, along the way. And also it's a people experience. You know, people are delivering that. So how do you bring them into play and make sure your staff adapt to technology? Because, you know, cleaners, housekeepers, maintenance, they didn't go into hospitality to sit in front of a screen. They got into hospitality to work with people, to perhaps not even be in front of a screen. So you've also got to recognize that culturally, technology does not necessarily fit with the people that are employed within the industry.
Indeed, Ryan makes a very good point that the customer-to-business relationship in the hospitality industry is much longer than in other industries. I asked Ted the same question to hear his perspective on the challenges of tech adoption in the industry.
Well, I think, look, the problem with the industry is, you know, I call it RTC, resistance to change. If you've been doing something for years and years and then someone comes along with a whole new approach, sometimes it takes time for staff to pick up that that's the way. So when people look at next generation systems, instead of looking at how do they improve their processes in hotels, sometimes they're spending more time saying, does the new system do all the things the old system do? Like, for example, you know, every day at night audit, we print 10 reports. We've been printing the 10 reports for 10 years. Does anyone actually look at those reports? But someone presses a button and 10 copies of that report are put on people's desks or sent in an email form or a PDF file. So I think part of the issue is as we move to create a high level is that getting staff acceptance, so trying to get everyone on board to see the benefits of why you need to move to the next thing, anything else like that. So I think that's one of the challenges. The second challenge is finding the money, right? I mean, I consult to owners, and when an owner's looking at investing in a hotel, you know, technology has to compete with all the other things like, you know, improving a guest room, for example, new chairs in the lobby, anything you need. I mean, even putting in new towels and bath and all that sort of stuff. So I think vendors still need to do a better job in selling the financial benefits. I mean, doing something for the sake of because the guy down the road's done it is not going to cut it to a large extent.
As made clear by both Ryan and Ted, not all hotel brands are particularly tech advanced or tech savvy. Although this is changing, the hospitality industry does have a symbiotic relationship with online travel agencies most of which are digital-first companies. I spoke to Haijing, a Trip.com market director for Southern Europe, about how online travel agencies are using AI and data analytics to improve the booking experience.
Well, there's no doubt AI is completely transforming, how travelers book and experience their trips. I think at Trip.com we are using AI to remove complexity, anticipate travelers' needs, and deliver seamless, intuitive booking experience that really feel effortless. In the past, travelers had to manually filter through endless options, but now AI does the heavy lifting. It really understands what travelers want, compares to its, with hotels, flights, activities offer, and match them with them perfectly. The result is pretty clear. We see more relevant recommendations, higher conversion rates, and a much easier experiences for travelers. So take Trip Genie, our AI travel assistant example. Since we launched back in 2023, it really evolved into a 24/7 digital travel companion that first it predicts what travelers need before they even ask. So offering flights, hotel suggestions based on past booking behaviors and preference. And second, it really provides real-time assistance and support from itinerary planning to live travel updates and notifications. And eventually, it boosts engagement. We see the users actually spending nearly twice as much time interacting with Trip Genie, and the conversion rate increased by 200%. So I think AI is moving beyond just answering questions. It's starting taking action. So by constantly delivering, relevant, timely, personalized results, AI is building trust with travelers and leading to higher revisit rates and also deeper, longer-term relationship with platforms like ours. So, as I mentioned, OTA like Trip.com are more than just booking platform today. It becoming like intelligent travel allies that help travelers to plan, book, experience travel with greater ease than ever before. And I think this is just the beginning.
With Trip.com fastly adopting AI, I also asked Haijing what she thought about criticisms behind the human touch. Can the human touch be maintained in the hospitality industry amidst fastening digitalization?
Well, I think that's a great question. We believe the technology should enhance, not replace the human touch. I think AI is excellent for speed and convenience. It helps travelers with instant changes, real-time notifications, and personalized recommendations. But when it comes to complex situations or emotional support, people still want real human interactions. That's why we are very proud as Trip.com. We ensure our global customer service team are always available 24/7 to provide personal, thoughtful support when it matters the most. On the other hand, I do agree, automation is freeing up hotels and travel service staff from an administrative task, right? So allowing them to spend more time engaging with the guests. Features like, AI-powered check-in or digital concierge services, it enables staff to shift their focus from routine process to creating more memorable experiences, whether that's offering local recommendations or assisting travelers face-to-face. And at Trip.com, we do see AI and human service as not either or, they work together. So AI take care of the repetitive tasks such as bookings, itinerary updates, and quick frequent asked questions, while humans step in for high value interactions such as complex bookings, travel disruptions, and personal assistance. So I think more travelers embrace the digitalization because it do make their journey more seamless, efficient, and stress-free. And they do appreciate the faster service, they enjoy the personalization and also having great control. However, there's a multiple studies do show that while AI is great for routine support, people still seeking the personal touch, especially when dealing with unexpected changes or special requests. So that's why, Trip.com continue to invest in human-led customer support, ensure our travelers have a live agent available worldwide, and we see AI as assistant, not a replacement, which allows the human agent to focus on more complex, high-touch interactions. So at the end of the day, I think technology make travel easier, but it's really the human connection make it meaningful. So looking ahead, I think digitalization will continue to enhance the efficiency in travel, but the human element will always be essential.
I think that was a very comprehensive answer, and later in the week we'll hear from other vendors on how they're using tech to enhance the hotel and restaurant experience. I'd like to thank Haijing, Ryan, and Ted for coming on the podcast. For the audience at home, we apologize for the loud conference audio. We hope it wasn't too bad. And from us at Strategic Intelligence, see you next time.